Well, hello there, my bowfishing brethren. This is Tim Daniels from THS Sporting Center. And it's April 22nd, 2026. This is my first time out in the water this year. Couldn't resist. The weather's been fairly calm for the last 2 days, and I'm excited about getting out here. And so hopefully it's going to be a good evening. First time out, boat seems to be chugging along there a little bit. Maybe it just got a little bit of old gas in it there that needs to move along. But I brought 2 barrels with me just in case things go really well. See how much ring rust I have. Hope it's going to be a great night. Yes. Yay, first fish of the year, dogfish. Not common for this time of year. So a little bit about the power source that I'm using here. I'm running a battery system here. There is no generator, and it's a total of about 850 watts power between 400 watts of DC direct current on 400 watt fixtures, and then I have about 9 50 watt Volcom fixtures. As you probably already know, the Volcom fixtures are 110 AC, and I'm using an inverter to power them. That's more like it. Other dogfish. So I'm powering my inverter with 2 12-volt, 200 amp hour Redodo batteries. This has provided me somewhere right around the neighborhood of 20 hours of actual use. So I've decided to increase my watts consumed. Before, when I was running lead acid batteries, quite honestly, I was lucky to get 7 hours out of the current like 850 watt service that I have. It took me well over an hour and a half to really start finding fish. When I first started, I was finding onesie, twosie, some dogfish, occasionally a small carp. Again, really a challenge to find fish. One of the things I really enjoy doing, though, is getting an arrow set up with a lighted knock. At night, that's a lot of fun. And it's not the easiest thing to do. I'm using harsh lock arrows. His knocks that come in these things really are garbage. So I end up putting an Easton bushing in there and then able to shoot a normal conventional lighted knock. Works out way better. Stoned 'em. In the early 90s, out in Saginaw Bay, quite honestly, I'd be lucky to see, say, 3-4 goldfish a year. And nowadays, it's quite a different experience. You can go out, and I've shot 15 in the same night. This one here, missed him on the first shot, but it was lucky enough he gave me a follow-up shot, and I was able to put him in the boat. First one of the year. I love those. Another goldfish. Yay. In the first shot, not 3. You know, one of the things I find really funny in the bow fishing world is the perspective of looking for big fish or the number of fish. Some people like a high count, shooting dinks, and don't like shooting big fish because big fish are just harder to get in the boat. Personally, I like big fish. I like shooting those big fat girls, and that's something I've always gone out of my way to try to find the biggest fish I can. Oh, this is a fat one. A ton of eggs in this one. Woo, fat girl. So in these videos, obviously I'm editing out a lot of my missing. And how much do I miss? It sort of depends on the day, how big the fish are, and how close they are, right? If you're shooting little dinks that are running like a gizzard shad, you know, holy cow, you know, that's going to be a low success rate for me anyways. If I'm shooting big fatties that are in the high teens and they're close up to the boat, I can have a pretty good streak going without missing one. I think I've shot more than 20 in a row, easily actually when I come to think of it. After a while it gets sort of tiresome. You know, I'm an advocate of using a gaff on big fish. Sometimes I can still get the fish in with the tips that I'm using, but I prefer to use a gaff because it takes some of the pressure off these extremely expensive arrows that I'm using. Big fish and smaller points, they're usually going to tear through, especially later in the season. The bodies of the fish are going to be so much softer. I keep a gaff on each side of the boat. Readily available. I take a piece of PVC, I cut a track in it, which makes it easy to deploy. I'm sure most of you that work your butts off and realize how expensive this sport can be, when you go out, you want to be comfortable. And one of the things that I found is a very inexpensive way to keep comfortable is rubber mats. I'm using these 3x3 rubber mats. They're easily washed off. They're fairly heavy, but you can get them at like Menards or someplace like that, and you can find them on sale for like $12 or so. But again, a lot easier to stand on these for multiple hours on end.
Fish.
I don't know how many years it's been. It's got to be getting close to 8 years or so, but Arrow Out. It's a Michigan company that produces a tool that I tried making years before they came out and never did it as well as they did, obviously. But it's great for pulling arrows that are really stuck in thick root bases. Now, if you're shooting sandy bottoms, something very soft, I guess you're not going to have this kind of problem, or really deep rivers. But if you're shooting someplace like Saginaw Bay with like cattail roots and reeds, and you got a little juice to your arrow and a 3-prong tip, good luck to you trying to get those arrows out, especially when they're just beyond your reach, hanging off the side of the boat. One thing I like about my system is that I'm able to move barrels, and the barrel there, or I just had, was pretty much full. You can probably get another 3-4 fish in there. But I take those barrels, slide it to the back of the boat, the center console, and put another barrel in there. And again, it's a great way of adjusting weight, especially when you're going to pull your boat up on the trailer. Being able to adjust some of that weight to the back makes a big difference of just getting the boat up and onto the trailer a little easier. It also helps balance out your weight in the boat, especially if you have somebody in the boat that's really heavy. And again, you can offset some of their weight by putting a barrel on the opposite side so you can get up in a little bit shallower water. I'm not a really big fan of shooting gars, but I do think we should. It helps definitely the game fish population, panfish, bass, all that kind of stuff. So you can take the time to shoot some gars to thin them out. That's really going to help.
Fish.
Well, if you have a chance, please like, share, and subscribe. It seems to be that some algorithms on this platform are suppressed due to their nature. If you get a chance, though, please stop by my store. It's a great brick-and-mortar retail sporting goods store which sells a lot of projectile dispensing fun, nothing to do with balls. Guns, bows, we have power tools, electronics, musical instruments, and a little bit of jewelry for the ladies. I really do hope you have a damn good day or try like hell. Live life large. Take care.